We had a chat about what it is that I wanted to do, and he said about what he wanted to do.
Yeah, there's a rough license near it.
And I played him a few tracks that I'd finished, and he really liked it, and he said he'd do it. It was then 2 months after that before we could get together again, because he was like recording his new album, and they were going out doing other bits and pieces.
Yeah, if you could just give me a quantity of whiskey.
All right. From start to finish, it was 6 months from the initial meeting with Jarvis to actually getting it finished.
So I'll just do it from the top. Do you feel comfortable with that?
Yeah, it's very comfy. Yeah.
That was mainly because I was waiting for him to become available from his commitments. I wish I could have done another couple of songs, but it was, you know, I think 2 years is long enough, and it would have been another 6 or 7 months. Iggy. Hi, it's David Arnold. I'm alright, how are you? Did you get the song? It's a song about someone who's been around the world, you know, 1,000 times, has done everything that there is possible to do in the human experience, and you know, they sort of come home from the end of this, you know, amazing life that they've had, and they get, like, sit on the back porch or something, and they're watching the sun going down, and at that moment they realise that they've got the rest of their life to live. And it's that sort of little snapshot, that moment, that I want to try and get in the song, you know, and really, you know, with the greatest of respect, it's like asking you to do it is probably because you've done most of those things that I think that this guy's done in the song. So, you know, I'm really sort of looking to hear that.
All the Time in the World is my own personal favourite. I think that might have had a lot to do with the experience we had in New York with Louis Armstrong that afternoon that we recorded it. It wasn't a popular choice at the time because we'd always used, you know, the Tom Joneses, the Nancy Sinatras. And I said, look, it's about a man singing about September of his years. And I thought Louis Armstrong singing We Have All the Time in the World, it just rang true, and Cubby loved the idea. There was no argument. And to work with this guy in the studio, he was the sweetest, humblest guy. Only love. We have all the time in the world, time enough for life to unfold all the precious things love has in store. We have all the love in the world.
I think when you're asked to do a Bond song, it's a major event. You really do kind of you write it and then you sort of rewrite it and rewrite it again before you present it to the people, because it's so important. You know the world's going to listen to it, and you know, it's got to be good. It's got to be of a certain kind of quality. It's not just like any other song, any straightforward pretty song. It has to have that extra bit.
It's a rare occurrence in nature when you can find lyrics as bad as these. You could have done so much with this, but who am I to criticize?
Everybody's got their own ideas of what a hit record should be. I think it's probably why there's always a little bit of a controversy behind the scenes about the song.
Baby, you're the best.
Paul McCartney wrote a song called Live and Let Die, which was the name of the film, with the idea of it being used in the picture. And I took Paul and the group into the studio, Wings, and produced it and did all the voices and so on, and made a proper job of it, like a proper record, which it was. And it was that stage that Harry Saltzman thought it was a demo. He said, now who do you think we should get to sing it? I said, well, you've got Paul McCartney. Yeah. What do you think about Thelma Houston? I said, she's very good. Aretha Franklin? Yeah, she's pretty good too. But I realised I had, with great diplomacy, had to persuade him that Paul McCartney's voice was the one for the film, and if he didn't have Paul, he wouldn't have the song.
Harry Saltzman hated Goldfinger. I was in the office and he said, you know, if we weren't pushed against time, we got to get this goddamn movie out. And if we had more time, I'd certainly throw that song out of the movie, blah, 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 blah. And Guy Hamilton, who was the director, said, Harry, I don't know whether this is a hit or not. He said, I really don't care. He said, but dramatically, when that song comes in and Shirley sings it, it's just the most dramatic, splendid opening. And I said, I love it.
In Diamonds Are Forever, he didn't like touch it, stroke it, and undress it. And I always remember that meeting when he said to John Barry, I don't like it. And John Barry, in a lovely Yorkshire accent, and I'll cut out the swearing words, said, well, what do you know about it, you know? And Harry slammed the door and ran out. And I thought, well, that's the end, I've lost the assignment, you know. But Harry didn't like Diamonds Are Forever. And I don't think he liked many of them. He wasn't really a song man. Although, the good thing about those days of Saltzman and Broccoli, they were leaders.
Good, bad, or indifferent, you walk out of their office at the end of the day, you knew where everything stood. And that is not the case today. There's phone calls, there's faxes, well, this idea, there's that idea, and you say, who is running the show? They say, we want a hit. We want a top 10 record. We want to get the kids in, you know, really. That's not my business. I mean, I'm a musical dramatist for a movie.
Nobody does it half as good as you. Baby, you're the best. You can turn my elbow down just a tad.
John and Don, they were working in an era when they'd go in a room, write the song, the producer would come in and listen to it, and I mean, that'd be it.
'Cause nobody does it better.
The ones that you think are the classics and the greatest actually performed the worst in terms of sales and, you know, and where they got in the charts. I mean, Diamonds Are Forever didn't really get anywhere. Goldfinger was a big hit. The biggest selling one has been the Duran Duran one. You know, that was the only one that was like a big #1.
Meeting you with a view to a kill.
You're dealing with reality now of Hollywood in 1997 and spending $100 million on a movie. And if it was my money, then I'd want to know whoever was kind of, you know, fronting it was someone who could get to the, you know, the most amount of people. So the whole thing with the song was that, I mean, I'd written a song, a lot of people had written songs for the film, because I think, you know, people do, you know, it's like you send them up there and keep your fingers crossed that they might use one of them. So I kind of threw mine in the pot with everyone else's.
There are plenty of good songs that, you know, sometimes the marketing people feel are not going to be the type of thing they would like to have. And of course, you know, the producers and the director and the composer all may have a different view on that. So it's something we have to kind of hash out, and we're kind of always in the middle, trying to come up with what's best for the film.
Filthy habit. David was passionate to do the score and to get 99% of the score to be his, and, you know, with wonderful references to what John had done in the past.